It's time for Cup of Joe.
Man, good morning, everybody. I hope you feel wet down below. What an intro. Look at that. Real quick, make it simple, make it sweet. If you're listening on Patreon in the audio version of this only, thank you so much for being a patron, man. Thank you guys for being patrons. The patron money just popped in today, and I just want to say thank you, man. Without you guys, there would be no Christmas. So thank you in the Cronin household. So thanks to all the patrons out there. You guys held the fort down during my last 2 months of a struggle here. So I appreciate you all bearing with me. Man, you guys have been nothing but patient and amazing. The ones that have stuck on the Patreon. You guys have kept me alive and afloat while this whole reorganization has happened. Anyway, wrestling news and other news. There's a lot of news. I just got alerted by my security system, so let me just see. Oh, FedEx guy. Okay, hello, guy. He's probably dropping off my weapons. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine if I was ordering weapons on FedEx. That'd be nice. If they delivered weapons from FedEx, that'd be sweet. Charlotte Flair and Andrade apparently are splitting up. Or what? Well, I'm really getting alerted now. Now he must be he must be pissing on my porch. He's like, I'm gonna pee on this guy's fucking porch. Let me just go pee. Well, we probably just got demonetized for my swear there. My bad. Oh, there he is. What a sweetheart. He looks like a sweetheart. Andrade and Charlotte apparently have broken up. That's apparently real, right? So that's really going on. I hesitated to talk about that because I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure that was real. And, I meant to be recording this a lot earlier today so I could do a longer show, but I'll just have to get right to the point of I don't really care about the two of them. I don't, bless their hearts, I guess. I hope they do well, but they've broken up apparently and whatever. Another Hispanic man has made a white woman crazy. I mean, is this Paige and Del Rio all over again? No, but I'm kidding. Because Del Rio, a lot of people really supported that Del Rio kind of sucks. That's what a lot of people said. But Andrade, a lot of people, from what I hear, is Andrade's great. So I think they're different people. So someone made that joke the other day. They were like, "Oh, this happened before with Paige and Del Rio." And it's just similar. It's not similar because I think Andrade is right. Andrade's pretty normal. Del Rio was like a wild person, and so wasn't Paige. People are jizzing on their belts everywhere. Bless. I love Paige. I love Paige, man. Paige was like a little, 19-year-old, 20-year-old coming into this big wrestling industry. She had a good time, man. I really wish they would write part 2 of that movie that The Rock did about her family, so they could write the part 2 where she was in the gangbangs and the jizz on the belt. Just somehow that didn't fit into the story, but it should have been in there. And I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I did crazy stuff when I was 21 myself. If you could have put the stuff I did at 21, I mean, I would have probably been fired from WWE for something, so it doesn't, I'm not saying anything's bad. And by the way, if they put on display what the 80s wrestlers did, can you imagine that? The critique of Paige, it's nothing, And it's also kind of funny that, when a woman lets a belt have, be cummed on, that everybody's like, oh, that's gross and everything. But if it was like Ric Flair back in the day, Ric Flair just jerked off on the women. He made the women wear the belt and jerked off on them. It's like people would have been like, it's hilarious. Woo! But because Paige did it, it's ew, it's gross, It's like, come on, man. There was people shitting on the belts back in the day. They were shitting on the belts, wiping their ass with the belts, peeing on them, coming on them. There's probably all kinds of stuff. Eric Bischoff explains why Fan Attack looks bad for Seth Rollins. What? I mean, I know that I made a joke video that Rollins called him a boy and stuff like that, but why does it look bad? I mean, he got blindsided. You know what I mean? Eric Bischoff says, honestly, I think there should be a law passed in every major city that if you jump the barricade and you go after an athlete, you shouldn't be able to press charges on anybody for anything. I agree. That's totally un-American, I guess. But, you know, I agree, man. If you jump that barricade, I don't think you should be able to press charges. You know? I mean, or at least I think, I'm pretty sure the law is, you know, like, if you punch Seth Rollins in the nuts and try to drag him down, and Seth Rollins punches you in the head, knocks you out, I don't think that's a problem. I think you used equal justified force to defend yourself. And so I would think that Seth Rollins wouldn't be in trouble for that. And I would hope that that would be the case. But if you're telling me that Seth Rollins could be in major trouble for punching a guy, then I agree with Bischoff. Change the laws, because, dude, if somebody comes at you to inflict violence, it's not like if you jump the barricade, you run in the ring, right? And you go, yeah, and then one of the wrestlers knocks you out. You know, like, even that, it's like, okay, the guy wasn't attacking anyone, so just let the security tackle him and get him out of there. That I agree with. If Seth Rollins knocks out a guy randomly, you know, okay, now maybe Seth thought he was going to be attacked, or maybe, you know, he doesn't know if the fan's there to kill him, attack him, whatever, so he has the right to incapacitate him. But I could see an argument being made if some fan was like fucking tarded, jumps in the ring and is like, yeah, and then Seth Rollins punches him in the head and knocks him out and brain damages him. Yeah, probably excessive force. But if someone jumps in the, you know, if someone tackles you or tries to attack you in the ring, then that's fair game, man. You have the right to incapacitate someone who looks like they're trying to incapacitate you. So, I mean, in that way, I agree with Bischoff there, 100%. Which, that just should be not, and that may be what happens nowadays. You know what I mean? If you do, say the fan does sue you, I mean, in my opinion, you can prove, listen, this guy used this force against me. I used equal force back. I'm justified. And now I'm suing him for attacking me. How about that? You know, and hopefully that's the way the court system works. You should win that case. If you're WWE, if you're Seth Rollins, if you're whoever's being attacked. Shawn Michaels says NXT 2.0 is the only brand producing fresh talent. The fuck is Shawn Michaels talking about? I mean, I guess. So I guess Shawn Michaels is taking the standpoint of, and this is on Wrestling Inc. here. I guess Shawn Michaels is taking the standpoint of like, hey, listen, AEW's got a bunch of older stars, and they're doing a bunch of older stuff still. WWE clearly is, but NXT, man, we're bringing people you never seen before out of nowhere to the TV. Yeah, you know, Shawn Michaels. By the way, NXT is the only brand that gets under like 600,000 viewers, other than TNA. You know, like, I mean, whatever. I spin it whatever you listen. If I worked there, I'd spin it as much as I could too. If they put me in charge, like, and they were like, you're in charge of this, you know, you're not gonna go out there and be like, NXT's not what it was, and I don't know what to do. You know, it's like, you're not gonna say that. So if you're Shawn Michaels and you're being told what to do, essentially, but you're in charge. You're in charge, but you're being told what to do. You know, you're going to toe that line. If you're Shawn Michaels and you're being told you're in charge of everything, well, you're going to toe the line because you're the one making up the rules. So Shawn Michaels isn't going to bury it. It's a stupid comment, but I can see that opinion, because in a way he's right. You know, we're the only ones. I don't know, whatever. You can just watch the show for yourself and you can see that, yeah, you're the only ones doing that. You're also the only ones that are fucking dumb. Like, I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I love Shawn Michaels. I used to love NXT. What are you going to do? You know, there's not a lot of wrestling news out there. I scroll through everything and just fucking, dude, wrestling news is depressing at this point. I'm just waiting to see what happens on Raw tomorrow night so we can talk a little bit about Raw and see what's going on. We got new Superstars salaries out, which always gets Jake's. Let's talk about the Superstars salaries that leaked and some other sports news as well. And yes, I'm happy the Patriots have Judon, man. Judon is fire. Thank you very much to whoever didn't sign him. Guys, don't remember the thanks button down below. Many of you guys have been hitting it in the last couple of videos, and I've been pinning you to the top. Let's talk about the salaries. But speaking of money, here you go. Now you guys can support my show better than ever because now there's the thanks button. So you see that thanks, you click that heart with the little $sign. Some of you guys with iOSs don't have it because Apple's weird, but everybody else has it. So click it, boom, and then all of a sudden you can thank me, and you can support the video, the channel, and everything I did in that recorded video. The top thanker is going to be posted and pinned to the comments section so you can get your praise, and you can be the official sponsor and the #1 sponsor of that particular video. You can actually go back in time and thanks on any video I have. So if there's an old video you love, and there's a thanks option, feel free to drop it. Otherwise, thanks for just watching, clicking the like button, sharing the videos, and being a subscriber. But this helps out big time. So drop a thanks today and make me wet. I mean hard. Whatever. Woo! I hope you guys do that. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting with thanks, and to everybody who's been jumping on the Patreon, man. You guys are going to be getting shout-outs in the next couple of days as well. Roman Reigns looks to be making $4 million a year. So Roman Reigns making about $4 million. Actually, it's been reported that Brock Lesnar and WWE champion Roman Reigns are making above $5 million. That's interesting. So, you know, when Jericho went to AEW, Jericho's biggest contract ever in AEW, right, was like, what, $3.5 million or $5 million or something like that? I think it was something like that, because Moxley got $6 million, right, and that's the biggest in the company. So, and Jericho's biggest ever was, I think, $3 or $4 million. 2-year deal, $3 million. So a lot of WWE talents are getting 3 to 4 years for $1, $2, $3, $4, and $5 million. Looks like Brock and Roman are above $5 million. And it looks like there's a couple guys making $4 million that they couldn't name, but definitely salaries went up a little bit in WWE. There's no doubt about that. I think it's Edge. I think Edge is getting $4 million, but I don't know. It was reported that Braun Strowman's 2019 contract was worth $1.2 million a year, and it was said that Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch contract was worth $1 million a year, but that she received a significant raise after the run that she had at the top of the company. So that's interesting. But the downside number that WWE offered was around $1 million, but that was reportedly changed to Becky. I don't know. So it seems like there's about, there's a few people in WWE who are benefiting being at the top, basically. Like, the structure, the power structure in WWE has changed so much. It's so funny because of how bad WWE is, right? With how bad WWE is and how terrible it is. And yet some of these wrestlers are getting paid more than ever. More than ever. And I find that wild that that's the case. It's like this is the worst, some of the worst time ever, and these guys are getting paid the most. It blows my mind that we're in this type of a downtime, and people, get this. I'm shocked by it. Like, dude, some of these people making some of this money is it's ridiculous. I'm looking at the names and just no one pops out other than Roman. I understand Roman Reigns at this point. And in my opinion, it's sort of an accidental, good thing, right? When they pushed Roman Reigns down all of our throats, I thought he was terrible. I thought he was just not even worthy of it. It was awful to me. In my opinion, Roman Reigns should have been heel from the get-go, and they should have used talent that was over like Daniel Bryan to be his adversary. Now Roman Reigns is pretty good as a heel, and now he's finally a heel, which is good, but now he's got nobody to oppose him. That's the problem. That's what we've said this. I've been over this a million times. And now that, WWE knows this. But it's just so funny that, he had plenty of people that could have been adversaries years ago when he was face, but he should have been heel. Now he's a heel and he has nobody to be an adversary. It's crazy. Some of the reports from the football world, Ravens declined to match Patriots' offer for Matt Judon. That's fire. Take that, Ravens, because Judon has been fire for the Patriots this season. And I heard he's got a big horse cock too. That's why, which is amazing. I love that part about it. So that's always sweet when somebody has that. So wonderful. I look forward to football today. I hope you guys are looking forward to football today. I hope all your football picks go well for you. I took my last $100 that I won last year, and I spent weeks here trying to make money and save my life in the Christmas and Cronin household, but that didn't happen. So today is my last day playing, probably betting. I have $10 left, and I'm either going to lose $10, and who cares, or, I could possibly save Christmas, Homer Simpson style. So everybody jump on my back, and let's hope that Joe has a Santa's Little Helper day in the football fantasy world. But I somehow doubt it. And I have to go to work. So got to drink some coffee, get rolling. And, I was coming off pretty high from the Ghostbusters movie the other day. So if you guys saw Monetize This the other night, you know that I talked quite a bit about Ghostbusters and what I thought about it. And I liked it. There's been a nationwide recall for the cocoa drug. We won't say the cocoa treatment drug that Trump actually took. You guys remember this? The remdesivir, due to the presence of glass particles. So that's not good because remdesivir was working great for a lot of people. And now there's glass particles in it. But you know what I mean? When there's metal in hot dogs, if anybody remembers Corrupted Podcast back when JB was on, or when we created it, basically, there was one of our first podcasts, we talked about fucking Beefmaster, and there was metal inside of hot dogs. So it's like, they'll listen, if metal can get into food that you're supposed to eat, it's not that crazy to think you can't get into remdesivir, or anything else. So whatever. White supremacists stage bizarre rally in downtown D.C. and find themselves stranded. It's weird because I heard that the group wasn't white supremacists. I heard that the group was just like extreme right-wing people. But now Yahoo calls it white supremacists. So it's like I don't know who to believe. It's like I don't know if they're just extreme right-wing people, which is okay, right? I don't agree with them, but they're whatever. But Yahoo says white supremacists, so I don't know which one they are. I don't know if they are that or they aren't. I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to talk about Christmas movies this year. We talk about them every year a little bit, but I think this year, I'm going to talk a little bit more about them. Or maybe get into them some more. Because I got a lot of shit that I can talk about. Or, I got a lot of time on my hands. Well, I have no time on my hands. I know what it is. There's a lot of things that I need. There's a lot of topics I need to have in order to be able to do podcasts. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Ghostbusters is a thumbs up from me. I really think you got to see it. I really, if you're a Ghostbusters fan, I thought it was just touching. It was a touching love letter movie. It didn't, it certainly was like Stranger Things meets Ghostbusters and you will cry, that type of thing. That's me. I mean, it may, maybe I'm, and we make fun of people normally when they say that in Hollywood, right? They're like, you will cry. Ugh. Like they're usually full of shit, or like the movies, it's some awful SJW thing, like, you will cry. I don't think this movie's like that. Like, it's nice, And, someone the other day was saying, like, I know what it was some of the guys on Red Letter Media, they were talking about how, like, 80s kids especially, like, we can't let go, man. We make our kids play with our toys. Like, it's so weird, man. We really do have an issue. It's like we can't accept anything our kids like. We're like, you guys don't have Ninja Turtles. You guys don't have Ghostbusters or He-Man or Transformers, really. You've got nothing like that. And in some ways they don't. every generation after the 90s, I feel like, especially the further into the 2000s we go, I feel like maybe it's that we don't see it, but it doesn't feel like they have a Ninja Turtles or a Ghostbusters or even Power Rangers and things like that. Like in the 90s and the 80s, it was just hyper focused on those shows. And I got to believe part of that is because that's all you had. There was no YouTube, there was no Netflix, there was no anything. So it was just TV. So there was only one place to go for television or entertainment in video form, and it was the TV. And many people only had 30 to 50 channels or 5 channels or 100 channels or whatever the case may be. So we were all hyper-focused on the same thing. So if Ninja Turtles is on and people like it and it catches on, it's going to catch on to way more people than anything would catch on now, because now there's so many different options that, yeah, you may have 10 million to 5 million people who love whatever cartoon is out now, but there's hundreds of other cartoons going on at the same time taking place on YouTube and Netflix and Disney and everywhere. And so it's spread over much thinner, almost like the WWE wrestlers. You know, there's no Hulk Hogan, there's no Stone Cold, there's no whatever. There's just a bunch of wrestlers who have tiny fan bases, who have smaller fan bases, So I just think that's the world we're in now. We're not quite in the succinct world that we were in the 80s and 90s. And one thing about humans and us that I believe is the older I get, because I can tell you when I was a kid, until I was about 8, I really believed a little bit in the Christianity thing, and maybe there is a Jesus and maybe there is a God. And then, I think when my dad died, I went, ooh. And then I went full atheist for like years, right? Full atheist. Like we're just fucking meat puppets and we go into the ground and that's it. But over the last 5 years, especially, I've had an awakening of, and I don't want to get into it here. Maybe I'll get into it in a separate podcast about several examples and reasons why I think potentially we're more than that, why we might be all eternal in some way. I just don't know in what way we're eternal. Are we eternal in that we're all space dust and energy, or are we eternal that our energy is transformable into a consciousness energy, or a conscious energy or directed energy? But anyway, the wavelengths and the way things vibrate in the world, it's amazing. And I've had an awakening to that in the last 2 years to 5 years, but really 2 years. And I feel way more comfortable. Now, our brains always search for that reasoning, because it's a way to keep existing. Because if you just believe you're dying and you're going into the dirt and nothing matters, no matter what we do, then it's scary. And that makes you feel like everything's useless. And your brain tries to rationalize a reason why you should go on doing something worth things. And yeah, kids help with that, obviously, too, because you want to pass on stuff to your living generation. But anyway, this is a big conversation to have at another time in a big podcast. And I've actually forgotten what I'm talking about. So wait a minute. What was I talking about? Why am I talking about this? Oh, shit. Guys, I'm sorry. And you know what? I can't go back and watch the video to see what I was talking about, because if I do that, I'd have to end this and edit it, and I don't have time to do that. So I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Shit. Oh, my God. I lost my train of thought. There was I was setting something up here. Oh, my God. This is going to drive me nuts. I guess this is where to say to be continued. Man, I was about to make a big point. I know, 80s Ghostbusters TV show. Oh, yeah. So, in the 80s and the 90s, we may have been more together in a way than we are now, because we were all locked in on the same vibes, the same wavelength. Like, hey, did you see Ghostbusters last night? Of course I did. Did you see it? Of course I did. Now, you could make the argument, and maybe I'm wrong. And what I mean is, the more you can get everyone in the world, or more people together, the more that we all vibrate the same and become more synced up. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a show like Netflix, like Stranger Things, has as many viewers as any show ever did in the 80s. Maybe, so in that case, maybe we are still synced up in that way. It just has to be a massively popular thing like Game of Thrones or Stranger Things or whatever. How many viewers did the original Ninja Turtles cartoon get? Let's check that. I don't even know if this is a thing. I don't even know if we can find those ratings. I don't know. Because this would really get us some answers if we could find out what the viewership was. And I don't think we have that. Well, let's use an adult show. Let's use what was the top shows? Top ratings watched TV shows 80s. Okay, so Dallas, Dukes of Hazzard. Dude, Dukes of Hazzard 27, is that million? Holy shit. Is that real? How many people watched? Let me see. So let's use Star Trek because I'm such a Star Trek fan. Star Trek The Next Generation peak audience during its 5th season was 11 million people. So, that's not a lot. In the whole span of the country. 11 million people. Most watched TV show of 80s. Maybe we can find an answer that way. So you know what? Maybe I'm wrong because NCIS on CBS drew 15 million viewers recently. That's 15 million people, and I'm thinking about the 80s with Star Trek. That was 11 million people. So, and granted, those 15 million people, a lot of those people are probably the boomers, right? The 50 and up crew or the 40 and up crew, people that that used to watch TV like that, and maybe the younger audience is all over the place. I don't know. So maybe I'm incorrect. Stranger Things. So my theory is wrong because we are potentially, you could say, we're more connected than ever as far as entertainment goes because according to this, 40 million people worldwide viewed last season of Stranger Things. That's more than watched. I think the cartoons I mentioned and Star Trek and NCIS and other things from the 90s and 80s. So maybe I'm crazy. That's 26 million people in the U.S. That's a huge amount of people. Let's all be watching one show. That's like almost 1/4 of the population watched that show. So that's crazy. That goes, I'm completely wrong then. We're maybe more connected than ever then at this point because of the connectivity that we have via internet. But yet we feel more flawed and far. So maybe it's all bullshit. I don't know. But it was interesting to do that in real time with you guys and get that reaction. I don't know. We have to study this further, I think, and talk about it further in another video. So we'll do that. I hope you guys remember to leave a thanks down below, and I'll pin your comment to the top if you like this show that I just did that went way longer than I was supposed to, and I might be in trouble actually now. Oh, shit, I got to go. Guys, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, use the thanks button down below, and the top thanker, I'll pin your comment. Thanks to all the patrons. Have a good day. Football day today. Have a good football day. Except for you Bills fans. Oh, wait, the Patriots don't play till Monday. Fuck.